Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C and the good old boys down south. I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners across the pond in London, England, as well as Latin America. And of course, I want to say hi to the Big C tribe in Africa. Thank you, good old boys, for listening in at the pyramids. Big C, now we know what's wrapped inside the pyramids. They kept finding these circles named Big C. So Big C is right next to Big King Tut, Big C. So good old boys going way back in the day. I want to say we love you, Canada, but there's still no one we love more than you good old boys down south in the land of the free, in the home of the brave. Big C, how's it going for you good old boys?
We're having a wonderful time down here. We got all the top college football teams in the country playing down here in the South.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got the National League and the American League championship series kicking off tonight, and tomorrow night. So it's just a great time in sports. I mean, it's almost like overload. It's so easy, Charlton, to watch sports now. It's like sitting in a deer crossing.
It's like sitting in a deer crossing, which is where I heard you are doing the show today, Big C, at the deer crossing sign with the good old boys down south. A lot of people gathered around trying to see if they can get some free venison, Big C. I want to say today is a beautiful October the 13th. They call it Friday the 13th, 2017, in the land of the free, in the home of the brave, and so many great things happen in the world of sports. Big C, for some of the good old boys last night in the NL championships in NLDS, what a great game. I watched the Washington Nationals and the Chicago Cubs. You were right again. I thought Chicago kind of had enough of it last year, but I thought this would be the year for the Nationals to get in, and it almost was, Big C. But I just want to get your thoughts. Get rid of this replay thing. I mean, if you're going to have replay on certain plays, who's safe or who's not, just have it for the strike zone too. I think it's a bad thing for baseball, Big C. Your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, it's so much speculation to the era. I mean, we can understand the human era.
Yeah.
The technology era that is now being presented at all levels of sports.
Yeah.
Is over the top. I mean, there were so many games, great games over the decades decided by the human eye, Charlton.
Yep.
And
Yep.
the humans play the game. So, anything is easy to come back and make a decision that you want on a replay.
Yeah.
But when you get the replay wrong, why do you have the replay?
Yeah.
So there's been some talk about taking the umpires out of the game completely and just having an electronic strike zone behind the play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Baseball is a game that is methodical, Charlton.
Yeah.
And it's technical. But you can't have the technicality of a game on an electronic device where everybody sees. I mean, it's almost like Richard Pryor. You don't believe me or your lying eyes?
Yeah.
We all see what occurred.
Yeah.
You see it at home. You see it on your handheld device.
Yeah.
The umpires see it on the replay. And they're like, how much money did you bet on
How much money did you bet on the game? I agree. I thought I was kind of going back and forth watching the great game, Carolina and Philadelphia, a great football game. And I saw where Cam Newton actually scored. He was like Superman. He flew in the air at the goal line. Some good old boy was holding him around the waist, and he still got the ball to cross the plane. If they have the overhead shot the way they do down in Dallas, they would have called it a touchdown. I even heard the announcer say, I would agree it's a touchdown, but they're not going to call it because they don't have the right angle. Well, if they don't have the right angle, why would he agree it's a touchdown? Big C, your thoughts?
Well, you got to realize, as we keep talking about this, the officials have, I mean, what do they have, 16 to 26 cameras in the NFL game now, Charlton?
Yeah.
This is what you have. So to say that you don't have the angle, everybody has the pylon cam.
Yeah.
Okay? So
Yeah.
you have that. If nothing else, you go to the pylon cam. You utilize the cameras that you want to utilize on a replay. You go to the production truck, Charlton.
Yep.
And you're sitting up there, and it's a when you talk about a man cave,
Yeah.
if anybody's ever been in a production studio or
Oh,
a
yeah.
production truck
Yeah.
and a broadcast, that's what you sit up in there, and I mean, you got to have math to get to it. Right?
I understand.
This is a man, and you're sitting here, and it's becoming so over the top now in sports.
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking the game to so many different levels is that you run out of things to do other than create controversy.
Yep.
And that's all you can do now with all these cameras and replays is create controversy. I go back to a game back in the 70s.
Yeah.
In Houston Oilers, formerly now the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
When they were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in an AFC, championship game to get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay. And Dan Pastorini threw a beautiful pass to Mike Renfro in the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
Renfro got both feet and his
Yeah.
And it was one of those things that, even back then, you knew the referee was smoking a joint.
Yeah, you knew he was doing something. Yeah, that's true.
Here's a scenario now that you got replay.
Yeah.
And you can't get it right.
Yep.
And this is, it's almost like, Charlton, when we talked about why is there an injury report in football? Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you ever go along, and even in baseball and football, and you look at how calls go back and look at the betting line on a game, okay?
Yep.
It's just that easy. When you see a call that should go the opposite way, you look at the scores, look at the betting line on a game.
Oh, yeah, we all know it's about the betting line. That's why Las Vegas, everybody loves Las Vegas. I do want to say that today's segment is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. And when you go by and test drive yours, tell them Charlton and Big C sent you. So many great things to talk about, obviously, Big C. But I do love baseball. It's great seeing the Big C LA on the NLCS. Big C for Big C Sports, worn by the Chicago Cubs and the LA Dodgers for, Southern California. Your thoughts on seeing these two great historic teams, and when you think about the Cubs and all the tough times they've been through over the years, and even the Dodgers haven't won a World Series since 1988, to have these two teams at Cervantes Ravine in the blue skies and the blue ballpark, Big C, what a great atmosphere it would be in Los Angeles on Saturday. Your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, this is a media haven right now.
Yeah.
You think about it, you have the two largest markets in America.
Yeah.
Playing baseball at one of the most critical times of the year.
Yeah.
And these two teams have not met in forever at this juncture, Charlton.
Yeah.
When you think about the life the Cubs have laid down and dwelling in the basement in the National League
Yep.
for many decades, and the Dodgers, for many years are on the top.
Yeah.
But you have last year's World Series winner against Major League Baseball's top winning team this past season, Charlton.
Yeah.
So this is a matchup that you really want to see. The only thing that's bad about this, they got to have the Blue Man Group come in from Vegas.
Yeah, that's true.
But, this is a game that's prime. You think about the love affair that the city and the state of Chicago, even America, has with the Cubs.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The Cubs euphoria is only matched by the Yankees.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
In American baseball lore. The Cubs have always been the darling team. And what Joe Madden has done with this organization, along with Theo Epstein, over the past couple of years,
Yeah.
there's nothing less than phenomenal.
Yeah, he is absolutely.
Everybody was saying, the Cubs got the World Series hangover. They're below 500.
Yep.
It was 2 months into the season. Baseball lasts for 3 years.
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny, Big C.
Right now, they're back in their prime, Charlton, to repeat
Yeah.
into the World Series back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, that's amazing, and I think
The other team is trying to upset.
yeah, it's a great story. So no matter, I think Harry Carey, the late Harry Carey, and Take Me Out to the Ball Games, and you have Vin Scully, and it's a shame that they couldn't meet in the World Series or the NLCS, but obviously their legacy, lives on. The late Harry Carey, and then the retired Vin Scully, and I know so many great players that are going to watch this series. Going back in the day when Dodger, it was called Dodger Blue, and the Cubs are always considered the GOAT, and because they never really had a chance to win, they always found a way to lose. Really excited about that. Big C, let me get your thoughts real quick before we hit on football. The Yankees and the Astros. The Yankees, to me, are primed to meet someone in the World Series this year, and I say that because they have a flamethrower, and if your closer can come in and throw in 100 miles per hour. And he's doing it in the 8th and 9th inning when most batters are tired. They've already played 2.5 hours in a baseball game. So when they're at their worst, he's at his best. That's why I give them a chance. The Yankees are getting to the World Series. I know Houston has a great team also, but there just seems something that's in the clouds, I guess in the stars, for the Yankees to get back. Maybe I might be wrong, but it worked out so far, Big C. It worked out so far. Your thoughts, Big C? Oh, yeah.
This is a team that nobody gave any aspirations to. Charlton said, the Yankees are 2 or 3 years away. Joe said, no, we're here now. And he has done everything with nuts and bolts and band-aids and bubble gum to put this team together.
Yeah, that's true.
And they have responded. When this season started, no one thought it was the Yankees. No one thought that Aaron Judge was going to do what he did this year as far as dominating at the plate with the big stick. And he went back and got Aroldis Chapman that you were speaking about from the Cubs.
Yeah.
He knew that he was going to be the guy in the closer position. And
Yeah.
Chapman has
Yeah.
And for something, to wake up the hollows of the Yankees, people thought once Jeter left, this team would be waddling in the wasteland for another decade.
Yeah.
They picked up, and they brought in some players that made people kind of forget about the captain.
Yeah.
But the Yankees, their history makes players perform. And it's great to have the Astros there, Charlton. You talk about a team for a feel-good story with
Yeah.
the hurricane that hit down there in the Gulf Coast, Charlton.
Yeah.
And devastated
Oh, yeah.
in that region.
Yeah.
To have a feel-good story, something for the people of Houston to lean on with the Astros making it to the ALCS, Charlton. This is just great. And it's great for baseball because the Astros have been one of the top teams in the Major League all year long.
Yep.
They basically led from start to finish in the sense of the season.
Yeah.
They got to get ready to the championship series, Charlton. This is a marvelous thing for baseball.
I think you're right.
Teams that have not been there in the Astros and the Dodgers for almost a decade and a half.
Yeah.
The
No.
Astros haven't been to this point in a couple decades, Charlton.
Yeah.
But this is going to be marvelous because we're introducing a whole new audience in baseball, especially down in Houston.
Yeah.
To something big.
Yep, that's a very good point. So we know people are still struggling with the hurricanes that hit the South, the Gulf Coast, and Houston, and all them good old boys. So we know we're pulling for your recovery. And also, I just want to say, California's haven't been declared a disaster area too up in the Napa wine area. So a lot of tragedy up there. But actually, fire swept through at nighttime when people were asleep in their homes. So I know they're even talking about moving the Raiders and Chargers game, and just a lot of things going on in the world to be grateful for. So our thoughts and hearts go out to all the people who are dealing with some type of tragedy, no matter where it is. But we just want to, hey, hopefully Big C Sports can bring you some levity and, going into the weekend. Big C, one more thing before I touch on football. I want to say congratulations to a lady I met way back in the day, Tyra Vanderveer, the head basketball coach for Stanford basketball. And this is someone, along with the late Pat Summitt, that has won over 1,000 games. She got a 3-year extension from Stanford down on the farm. Only Coach Mike Krzyzewski, is in that kind of territory with those ladies. So, again, congratulations, Stanford, Tyra Vanderveer, doing great things down there on the farm. Big C, college football kicks off big tonight. We have the good old boys down south. We have Louisville, and we have them playing a game that they have to find a way to win because, not Louisville, but Clemson. Clemson's playing Syracuse, and they're a 22.5-point favorite. They only won by 14 points last week, Syracuse. Gonna maybe try to upset in the Dome tonight. I don't think it's going to happen. Your thoughts on Clemson and Syracuse, and then Washington State? They're at Cal, a 14-point favorite tonight. Big C, your thoughts?
If you recall, Brian, this quarterback, went out last week with a high ankle sprain. Now, he's due to play tonight.
Yeah.
But he's not going to be as effective because all he can do is he's going to be limited to stand in the pocket. He's not going to be able to get out on the corner and stretch the defense with that. And I didn't question the coach for playing him tonight, not keeping the backup in. But, this is a critical game that you can't afford to be snuck up on. In some polls, Clemson is number one in the country, even though Alabama's won across the board.
Yeah.
But, this is a very dominant game that Clemson has. They keep them in the game. They kept them in the game last week against Wake Forest when they lost their quarterback.
Yeah.
But they sorely need this victory. They cannot afford a hiccup if they expect to get into the championship round because it'll be easy sailing after tonight's game. But if you look at Washington State on the other side of the country out there, Charlton, where you are, this is a team that is poised to make a run at the college playoff, Charlton. They can beat everybody left on their schedule. Their biggest game left is the Apple Cup against the University of Washington.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
The highest paying quarterback in the country. Now, when you think about the Pac-12, 23 conference, whatever it is,
yeah, it's a Pac-12.
This conference really has the top 2 Heisman candidates in the country.
Yeah.
You think about Love, the running back at
Stanford.
Yep. Over 200 yards a game rushing. You look at Folk basically leading the country in touchdown passes and percentage passing, Charlton. These are 2 high-powered players, Charlton. But Folk has captured the national spotlight because he's leading the undefeated Cougars.
Yeah, Big C, I want to give you some kudos, too, because, out here, Sam Darnold on the West Coast, and you had Rosen at UCLA, Darnold at USC, and Browning, of course, at Washington. They were always talked about as can't miss, at least Pac-12 Players of the Year, and then Heisman Trophy consideration. Even all the good old boys from McShay and then that guy with the big hairdo, they didn't even know who Folk was. But my good friend from the South, you good old boys down there from the South know your football players. You said, Charlton, pay attention to this kid coached by Mike Leach up at Washington State. I thought you said Washington. You said no, Washington State. Falk. He's the best passer in the country. Now, all Saturday, you're going to hear everybody saying how great a player he is, and he will be in New York for the Heisman Trophy presentation. Whether he gets it or not, I don't know. But Big C, you were so prescient. I want to give you kudos on that. I also want to ask you about the TCU-Kansas State game. That's a 6-point favorite by TCU. I know TCU upset or knocked off West Virginia last year. TCU is in position to win the Big 12 Conference. Big C, your thoughts?
You also got to look at the success of TCU.
Yeah.
That's a product of Kevin Sumlin's recruiting down at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
But, Marshall has done a tremendous job coaching at TCU since they moved into the Big 12.
Yeah.
No one really looks at him because of where they are down in Fort Worth. But year in and year out, Charlton, he comes up with a dominant team. There's so many tremendous athletes.
Oh, yeah.
Now, think about it. If he was at the U of T, think about how much praise he would get.
Oh, yeah.
But Texas can't stay on the field.
No.
With TCU, Charlton.
No, not at all. That's a very good point. Big C, speaking of Texas, the good old boys down in the Southwest, no matter whether the teams are ranked in the top 10 or in the bottom 20, you have Texas, and they're playing that Red River Shootout. They call it the rivalry down there against Oklahoma. Oklahoma coming off of an upset loss to Iowa State. They're an 8-point favorite over Texas. And this game is usually about tradition. It's about the rivalry, and you go back to the days of Holyfield, and you go back to the days of Earl Campbell, and all of these guys. I know Holyfield helped. Jamel Holloway, beg your pardon, came in when Troy Aikman broke a leg and went down and led Oklahoma to a national championship. You think about the lineage of running backs that have been at Texas, and this is a game where now you have the quarterback has kind of taken over in Baker Mayfield. If there's a win by Texas, it's not really an upset because you can't really predict who's going to win these games. Big C, your thoughts?
Look at what's happened in the past couple years where Oklahoma's rolled in and everybody said they would blow Texas away.
Yep.
And they've come out there dragging their tail between their legs, Charlton.
Yeah.
This is a game that's about raw emotion. Texas is a team that's trying to find an identity.
Yeah.
They got a young quarterback who's really played admirable this year.
Yeah, he has.
Mayfield came in with all the Heisman hype.
Yeah.
He was probably the best quarterback in the country. He wasn't even the best quarterback in his conference.
Nope, you're right.
That's what hype by the media will do when you see a certain guy that.
Yeah.
And periodically, people start reading their press clippings.
Yeah.
But Oklahoma's problem right now is on defense. When you think about them losing to Iowa State, the quarterback last week, the first-time starter, and that is that you have guys believing the press clippings.
Yeah.
And when you got a young coach at Oklahoma, sometimes he can't always reel in the horses, Charles.
Yep, that's true.
And we saw that last week at Ohio State. We got a coach in Texas trying to find his way, Herman.
Yeah.
He came in much ballyhooed, but he's been more physical than he has seen.
Yeah.
So this is a game that either Oklahoma gets back on track trying to win the Big 12 title, or they go into the tank, Charles.
That's a very good point. We have Utah State, a 3-point favorite over Wyoming. Air Force favorite by 7.5 over UNLV. Colorado State and Nevada, about a 20-point spread there. USC at home versus Utah. Utah was knocked off at home last week by Stanford, and now they're a 13-point underdog to USC. The over-under is 53.5. This is a big game for both teams. Both teams have a loss in the conference, Big C. Your thoughts, USC and Utah at the Coliseum? Oh, he's already out of it.
USC has had trouble playing up at Utah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
For some reason, these California kids get up high in the mountains, and all of a sudden, and we can't talk about high in Utah because
well, they're playing at the Coliseum this time, though. They'll be in L.A. for this one, but there will be some high from all the California Flyers if they can get their win back in them. Big C, your thoughts?
When you think about all that marijuana that grows in Northern California,
hey,
this is a game, we've had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Offensive line,
Yeah.
running back. So, this is a lot of more pressure's been put on Donald.
Yeah.
And he hasn't responded. Everybody talking about how ready he was. He was the best quarterback. And I told people from day one, Charles, he wasn't even the best quarterback in his conference.
No, you're right. You're right again. Yeah.
And it's proven out this year. Just because you have a great game in the Rose Bowl, Charles,
Yeah.
and set records, that's not, applicable of your season.
He needs 2 more
You
years.
had a hot night.
Yeah.
It's like going to Vegas, getting on the crap table.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you roll everything but 7. Okay?
Yeah.
You do it again. You go back the next night, and you should have left all the everybody in the room.
Been there, done that, Big C. We know that for sure. Obviously,
That's what Donald has been.
yeah.
He has thrown more interceptions already, Charlton, than what he threw last year.
Yeah. When you start reading the press and reading the papers, and they're telling you if you're a big white kid, they want to get you out of the high college level and get you into the NFL. You have a guy down at Louisville that's still more NFL ready, but they keep saying, well, maybe they'll make him a great receiver when he gets drafted, like they did back in the 70s with a lot of African American players. Big C, in your neck of the woods, Alabama, a 28-point favorite over Arkansas. Will they cover the 28? I know A&M covered them close. And Nick Saban said something about rat poison or rat something, Big C. What did he say about the rats, Big C?
Well, Nick always is a media daughter, and Nick ironically hates the media.
Yeah.
He and Trump will sound almost the same.
Yeah.
Always something negative to say. But Arkansas has an atrocious defense this year, Charlton.
Yeah.
And they won't even be in the arena by the end of the second quarter. Alabama will be covered at the free against Arkansas. They have not found any consistency on offense.
Yeah.
The best game was against A&M, and they lost that, Charlton.
Yeah.
But right now, they're real dismal and beat down on defense. Alabama will have the spread covered by the end of the first half.
Very good point, Big C. Florida favored by 2.5 over A&M. That game's down in Florida. Should be a big game. Tennessee, a 3-point favorite over South Carolina. Auburn's favored by 7 over LSU. Michigan State, a 4-point favorite over Minnesota. I want to bring you out to the farm. You talked about them earlier. Stanford favored by 10.5 over Oregon. The over-under is 58. Stanford just had a big win up at Utah. Oregon had a big loss at home versus Washington State. Will Stanford run for 300 yards in this game, Big C? Your thoughts? Yeah.
Has not been denied by anybody this year.
No.
I mean, when you think about if he was in the East Coast or even in the South, Charlton,
yeah,
he'd be the front runner for the Heisman. No one would talk about anybody but him.
Yeah.
When you look at the phenomenal numbers that he's put up, Charlton, nobody's put up numbers like this since Marcus Allen, okay?
Yeah.
Marcus Allen is the last college back to put up numbers that Love has put up 200-yard games back to back to
yeah.
back. And so, but being there in Stanford, having games that start on the East Coast, 11 o'clock
yeah.
here at our time?
Yeah.
So, he's not going to get the fanfare or the media appreciation. But I like what Stanford can do. Oregon has just not been able to find it. The first couple of games they looked good, but when they lost their quarterback,
yeah.
we see how important the quarterback is on any level, whether it's in college, high school, and especially in the NFL, where they only have a dozen starting quarterbacks that are playing on the 32 team.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Big C. I do want to say some great college football games this weekend. Hopefully everybody can enjoy. And I do also want to say that sports is a billion-dollar industry, and boys and girls sports is a foundation to this billion-dollar industry. For every sporting event, you need athletic and event insurance. We work with Ben and Mark. They've been around for half a century. They cover pro teams, your collegiate teams, your high school teams, even your mom and pop soccer leagues. When you reach out to them, tell them that Big C sent you. Big C, as we close out our final segment on the NFL, always great to talk about. We'll hit it quick for this weekend coming up. I just want to get your thoughts real quick. Carolina last night, great game, Philadelphia. Too many turnovers by Cam Newton, and obviously I thought he did have a touchdown, but they called it a field goal. They had to kick a field goal. They ended up losing that game, where that could have made all the difference. Just your thought on how great Philly's defense seemed to play last night, Big C.
We know something that dominated, and really they shut down the linebackers of Carolina.
Yeah.
They seem to have their way. Thomas Davis and Luke Kuechly were not a factor on defense for Carolina last night. But, Philly has done some things, Charlton, marvelous. Doug Peterson, the quarterback, the head coach,
oh, yeah.
the quarterback coach, has really developed Carson Wentz. He's not out there taking chances that he shouldn't have to take.
No.
His mobility has been greater than anyone has ever expected, being a kid as tall as he is.
Yeah.
But having this wonderful receiving core riding as well as McGarrett Blunt in the backfield, Charlton.
Oh, yeah.
Has really helped this Eagle offense. And you think about it, people are talking about their defense. Because
yeah.
Their defense, there's no 3 and outs with their offense, where their defense is on the field all the time. If you recall last year with the Eagles, Charlton,
yeah.
when everybody figured out Carson Wentz after 3 games because that was his preseason, all of a sudden he was predictable what he was going to do. He wasn't going to push the ball 20 yards down the field.
Yeah.
Everything was going to be in the 5 to 10 yard range. So you could come, do a little more press coverage than sitting back in cover 2.
Yeah.
And it kept their defense on the field a lot. But, 3 interceptions last night by Cam. 2 of them really wasn't him. They were tipped, Charlton.
Yeah.
The quarterback still threw the ball.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to take the bitter with the sweet. You were riding high for 2 games.
Yep.
You came back to earth in the 3rd.
That's a very good point. Houston at home versus Cleveland, 10-point favorite, and the over-under is 47. Big C, your thought on Cleveland going into Houston and probably getting blown out again? Big C, your thoughts? Yeah.
But he's always been a competitor. He's been an underdog even when he was in college and even in the pros, Charlton. A fifth-round draft pick coming out of college by the Kansas City Chiefs, being picked up by the Cleveland Browns off waivers. They benched Deshaun
Kaiser, yeah.
He had all these turnovers in the red zone, Charlton. You have to know how to control the ball in the red zone. Scoring opportunities in the NFL are minimal.
Oh, yeah.
But when you get that chance, you just can't turn the ball over. Look for some big things this week from Hogan, Charlton. He may shock some people.
That's a very good point. New England on the road at New York at the Jets, Jets, and they're taking a 9.5-point favorite. There's the over-under is 47. Big C, the way the Jets have been playing, I think 9.5 is too much to give New England that has been knocked off at home a couple of times. Big C, your thoughts? Yeah.
Macau was one of only two quarterbacks in the NFL, Charlton, completing over 70% of his passes, okay?
Yeah.
And they're also in first place in the AFC.
Yep.
So they're not a dog right now. They're on a 3-game winning streak. So they have the hot hand going into this game. They're playing with house money.
Yeah.
They're not worried about New England. And you got to also remember, Brady was banged up last week against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Gronkowski was banged up. So this is a team with an offense that's not at 100%.
Yeah.
So the Jets will come in. They don't have to worry about it. You know, people are expecting them to lose.
Yep.
So they can take chances as they've been doing the past couple of weeks, Charlton. I like the Jets covering the point spread.
I think they'll cover the spread. Atlanta, a 12-point favorite at home over Miami. And I don't know if Miami has a quarter. They might just start running the wishbone because the guy can't pass in Cutler. If they just run the wishbone, at least they have a chance to get positive yardage. Atlanta, 12-point favorite. The over-under 46.5 down at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Big C, your thoughts?
Well, now, you look at Atlanta, Charlton. They have one of the fastest defenses in the NFL. They remind a lot of people of the Seahawks when they went to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And won it a few years back against Denver, okay?
Yeah.
They're playing a quarterback that wants to sit there and can't remember the snap count every time, okay?
Yeah.
For the Atlanta Falcons, you know, when they talk about bird on a wire,
Yeah. You must have just seen a bird of that Animal Crossing. The birds are supposed to be smarter than the animals, but the birds are trying to cross the road too at those signs. Big C, something's not fair. We got to talk to the animal gaming commission about that. New Orleans, a 5-point favorite at home versus Detroit. They're a 5-point favorite. The over-under is 50. We know both teams can score. In the Dome, both teams are used to playing in the Dome. This is a big game for Detroit, Big C. Can they beat New Orleans down there in what they call Jazz City and Nolens, Big C? Your thoughts? Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't keep doing that, Chelsea. You can't keep playing behind. Matthew Stafford's record against teams with winning records is dismal, okay?
Yeah.
And so this is a very even game. New Orleans has found a way to catch a stride. I think they've gotten rid of a lot of locker room tension by letting Adrian Peterson go, Charlton.
Yeah.
So now everybody knows that it's back to being Drew Brees' team. He doesn't have to share the ball if he doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Look at New Orleans keeping this game close, Charlton.
Big C, another big game. Green Bay, can they come off of that come from behind high and going into Minnesota? They're a 3-point favorite, and the over-under is 46.5. Do they have anything left in the tank when they go back into the black and blue division? Big C, your thoughts?
Well, Charlton, Green Bay has a lot left in the tank. The biggest problem is for Minnesota. What do they have, Charlton?
Yeah.
They lost Cook, Dalvin Cook, the young running back.
Oh, yeah.
2 weeks ago to a season-ending knee injury. They lost Sam Bradford last week in the first half of that game, so Case Keenum is going to be starting again. Look for Green Bay to turn up the pressure on defense. Aaron Rodgers is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And they found a young rookie running back last week that Dallas had over 100 yards rushing.
Yeah.
When you think about that, Aaron Rodgers with a running game. Everybody knows how great a passer he is.
Oh, yeah.
But now this makes his play action even greater, Charlton. They were without Jordy Nelson last week in the second half when they beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So if Jordy's back in this game this week, and that running game is still consistent, Charlton,
yeah,
there's no hope for the Minnesota Vikings.
Speaking about hope, I look at the Baltimore Ravens, and they came out to Oakland and got a win over a sleepy Oakland team. And I'm starting to wonder what caused those fires out in California, because there's a lot of people who are playing too relaxed in the Coliseum for all the things that they were talked about being a playoff contender and maybe even challenging for the AFC West. something's missing. I think it's more than just Carr being missing. I know you brought up some points earlier, but Baltimore had a big win on the West Coast. Now they go back home to some home cooking, and they're a 6-point over Chicago with a 39.5 over under. I don't know if both teams can score 39, combined, Big C, maybe 29.5 over under. But your thoughts on Baltimore playing at home versus Chicago, Big C? Yeah.
But we've seen what the Pittsburgh Steelers are this year. They're a team in disarray.
Yeah.
Chicago is still trying to figure out what they're doing for this.
Yeah.
Last week, he completed 12 passes, Charles. You're not going to complete 12 passes in an NFL game and win, Charles.
Yeah.
And especially if you don't have a running back hitting 100 yards on the ground. So that means that my quarterback passes for 124 yards. My top rusher rushes for 50 yards.
Yeah.
I don't have an offense that can compete on the NFL level. Regardless of how bad Baltimore is, they're twice as good as Chicago, Charles.
That's a very good point, Big C. I look at another game where, I kind of feel for some of the great 49ers of the past, whether it's a Jerry Rice or Joe Montana or Ronnie Lott, some of the guys, Charles Haley, the guys that really built a foundation, Roger Craig, even going back to the great Gene Washington from back in the day. Washington Redskins, a 10.5-point favorite at home versus the 49ers. The over-under is 47 points. And I don't even feel for San Francisco because they chase off good people. The quarterback they chased off in Kaepernick is the last quarterback to help them win a game. And they couldn't figure it out, Big C. They're probably going to get blown out by more. I think Washington covers that 10.5 in an early start. Your thoughts on Washington 10.5 versus the 49ers, Big C?
When you talk about a team, Charles, they wanted to get rid of his pass, they got rid of the last part of it. They released Navarro Bowman.
Oh, really? Really?
So when you talk about a team without direction, a team without leadership, the 49ers no longer possess that anymore, Charles.
Wow.
They don't have an offensive identity, they don't have a defensive identity. And when you got rid of Navarro Bowman, one of the greatest linebackers in the past decade.
Oh, my God, yeah.
It was with Willis, at linebackers for the 49ers. Just a tremendous defense. Now, this is a team that's going against the
Redskins, yeah.
We know that, Cousins can throw the football, and that's what he's going to do. You don't have a guy that's taking control of the defense for the 49ers.
Yeah.
You don't have any offensive direction, Johnson. You don't have a running back that can stay healthy in Carlos Hyde.
Right.
Your top receiver, Pierre Garçon, the Redskins know what he can do. He was with them for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So they know the limitations of his game.
Yeah.
This is a game that the Redskins can easily win by 17 points.
Well, I was told that Lynch was going to turn things around with the 49ers organization because he'd never been a GM before, and I guess they knew what they were talking about. It's a shame to see such a great organization just kind of run into the ground. It's like taking a Ferrari and you take the engine out and you put a Hyundai engine or a Honda engine. It's just not the same. It's just not the same at all. Big C, Jacksonville, a 3-point favorite over the Rams. Over under is 43. Will the Rams get back on their high horse playing at Jacksonville, an early start in that humidity in the South? I'm kind of leaning toward Jacksonville. I think Seattle kind of showed that the Rams are still a year or two away. Big C, your thoughts, Jacksonville and the Rams?
Well, the Rams showed themselves. They went back to their old hat. Took the ball out of Todd Gurley's hands.
Yeah.
Will they do the same thing down in Jacksonville? There should be a battle between Leonard Fournette and Todd Gurley.
Yep.
Two former SEC running backs, similar type running backs.
Yeah.
Jacksonville has a tremendous front, and so if they think that they can spend just on the passing
right.
game with
golf, right.
And, Watkins and these guys, it's going to be a long day because this Jacksonville defense, you think about it, 4 years in a row, all these years, don't get to the defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
That defense is there. It's just a matter of their offense playing catch up. And so Goff, if he knows how to hand the ball off to Gurley, can touch the ball at least 25, 26 times.
Yeah.
The Rams are going to have a chance. And I'm talking about running and receiving.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get into that mid-20s of touching the ball, this could be a blowout for Jacksonville. So.
That's a very good point. Tampa Bay, a 2-point favorite over Arizona, and that game's in the desert. Don't know what to say about Arizona, but they've been, banged up. Tampa Bay, do they have the ability to win on the road? Were they favored by 2, Big C, with a young Jameis Winston? Your thoughts? No.
We know that the offense is really lacking. Trying to get Adrian Peterson into the mix is not going to help their offense, not right away, Joe.
Yeah.
So they don't have a running game. So this is a one-dimensional offense that you're looking at.
Yep.
Tampa has a young, aggressive defense. Jameis Winston is going to have to find a way to incorporate Deshaun Jackson. This kid, can go off the hinges at any time, and he's just
Yeah.
He got the ball as much as he thought he should.
Yeah.
He has to work harder on his routes because he's just a pure burning receiver. He hasn't been a disciplined route runner.
Right.
That's been the problem with him in Tampa's offense. But if they can get him to run some disciplined routes and where they can sweep him through that secondary chopper,
Yeah.
it should be a no-brainer for Tampa Bay this week.
Big C, speaking of no-brainers, you have the Denver Broncos 11.5-point favorites over the New York Giants. 39.5 is a over-under, and it's probably going to be at least 2 touchdowns because the Giants have no one at receiver. They're banged up. We know Eli's not a great player anymore. He's just kind of living on his laurels from the past, even though they're paying him anyway. Denver will probably roll big in this game, up 11.5, unless they're too relaxed, Big C. If you get my drift, your thoughts on Denver being too relaxed at home, Big C?
This is a team that's become totally dysfunctional with the Giants. So
Yeah.
They have no offensive line versus one of the best pass rushing teams in the NFL in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
They have a quarterback who's a stationary target in the pocket who will be visited by the defensive front of the
Yep.
Broncos frequently and often.
Yeah.
They have disarray in the locker room with Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie was suspended.
Yeah.
Who actually gave him a month up a win in, almost a dozen games.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's running out of people to blame why the Giants are losing.
hey, no, Big C. They can blame Colin Kaepernick for this I guess the confusion in the locker room for the Giants, Big C. That might help in your thoughts.
This is a game, Trevor Siemian, has developed and really become a fine leader in the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
The offense has been clicking with him. He stood off the challenge during the preseason. And,
Yeah.
When Lynch was pushing for his job, they brought in Osweiler with a wasted trade, for him. But Trevor Siemian is taking control. He's that quiet assassin in that Denver offense. The Giants, coming out to the West Coast after the dismal
Yep.
performance they had last week against the Chargers, Charleston.
Yeah.
And they have no receiving core right now. So everybody that Eli Manning will be throwing to will be trying to figure out what is Eli Manning doing. Okay?
That's a very good point. Big C, the Oakland Raiders, a 3-point favorite at home versus the Chargers, the LA Chargers. There's talk that they may move that game out of the Bay Area, and I don't know if it's happened now, but we should find out by the end of today, it has to be by the end of the day to find out. It's hard to get on an airplane and fly, across the country or even down south in a day's notice with professional teams. But the Raiders having a lot of issues. The Chargers, they're having their own issues. But give me your thoughts on that. Both teams are kind of dealing with fire and a lot of the issues with the fan base having to deal with I guess what's called a presidential disaster with the fires up in the Bay Area. Big C, your thoughts?
The Raiders, Charleston, have not been the team that everybody thought they were going to be.
No.
But, you look at how the Raiders finished last season when Carr got hurt. They basically started this season that way, Charleston. He didn't play in the preseason.
No.
So they had no time to develop continuity. Then when you lost Crabtree on the offense, you lost your identity in a way.
Yeah.
Now you didn't have the go-to receiver.
Yeah.
You haven't utilized Lynch to his full potential. You got to run until the wheels come off.
Yep.
If you can only play half a game, that's all you can play.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you run until the wheels come off. Ask Seattle what they didn't do with him in the Super Bowl when they lost to the Patriots.
Amen.
The ball.
Yeah.
But that defense for the Raiders hasn't played up to expectations.
No, not at all, Big C.
Draft picks on defense.
Yeah.
They have not produced. The Chargers, they're riding the high right now.
Yeah.
Literally in California.
Yeah.
They just came off their first win of the season against the Giants.
Yep.
And so they're coming in Oakland. They chest out.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers is feeling good all over again.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Big C. Probably the biggest game, at least this weekend, Kansas City at home, 4.5-point favorite over Pittsburgh, 46 is the over-under. The Steelers need a win bad. Will Kansas City fall this weekend, or will they extend their streak, Big C? Your thoughts? The Steelers, baby, the steel curtain. Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest problem with the Steelers right now, Charleston, is Ben. Ben's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out of the locker room, okay? He can't figure out whether he wants to play or not.
Yeah.
1 week I'm all in, the next week I'm mad at my teammates. The other week I'm trying to figure out whether I got it or not.
Yeah.
You can't have a quarterback questioning himself.
Yeah.
When that quarterback questions himself, he questions the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Are they in the same mindset that he's in? There's some tremendous players on the offense and defense of the Steelers, Charleston.
Yeah.
But the problem is at the quarterback position. And when you become that prima donna in the NFL, that so-called elite quarterback.
Yep.
And Ben has earned that right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put this guy on the bench, okay?
Yeah.
This is Colin Kaepernick that had the attitude that Ben Roethlisberger had. Well, I don't know if I want to play. Everybody keeps saying Colin doesn't want to play.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger said he doesn't know if he wants to play. No one has talked about benching him or releasing him.
When he said,
This is status and standard in NFL quarterback.
so when he said he didn't want to play, he doesn't know. Did he go to the paycheck? I mean, they probably get electronic funds, but did he tell the owners of the Steelers, I don't know if I want my paycheck this week, guys? But I sure did he be silent on that one, Big C? That's something you haven't heard much about.
No, but he didn't go in and say, well, I don't know if I'm from all in.
Yeah.
Why don't you just ask my salary?
Yeah.
Just take it back, because that's how much performance I'm going to give you. So keep the money. Give it to the players who are playing all out.
Yeah, I'm sure that won't happen, Big C. Tennessee on Monday night. Tennessee at home versus Indianapolis, and there's really no point spread on that. A lot of issues with both organizations. Your thoughts on Tennessee at home on Monday Night Football versus Indianapolis, Big C? Yeah.
He is starting to stabilize that Indianapolis offense.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, if Indianapolis has any type of moxie about them, don't bring Andrew Luck back this year.
Yeah.
You're spend the year getting healthy.
Yep.
You're not going to win the division. You're not. And if you are, it's going to be because of the legs of Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
But you're not a dominant team. You don't have all the parts you need to win on a consistent basis. But develop Jacoby Brissett. If Andrew Luck is healthy at the beginning of next year,
Yeah.
you've protected your investment. But if he's not, you've developed a quarterback that can stand in until he actually comes back to that point of health, Charles.
Yeah, Big C, that's a great point. I want to close on two stories. North Carolina basketball. A lot of people saying only a fool would represent himself in court. They pointed up a lot of money for some attorneys that kept them out of trouble. Big C, your thoughts?
Well, you think about it, they were on the hook for lack of institutional control, Charles,
Yeah.
for academic fraud. And you think about it, if that's a player that's going through that, what happens to that player, Charles?
He's gone.
He loses his scholarship. He's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah,
But for some reason, North Carolina was able to give me $12 million in lawyer fees.
wow, a lot of money.
$12 million.
That's a lot of money.
You think about it. You haven't done anything wrong, you're saying, as a university.
Yeah,
But you're investing $12 million in attorney fees.
Yep.
Okay? How much of that money went to the players? Okay?
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Somebody got paid somewhere. Okay?
yeah. That's funny. I mean,
For the NCAA to say that we couldn't find anything wrong.
yeah,
Now, you spent the last 3 years investigating this program. You don't start an investigation
Yeah.
unless there's something there. Let's look at the basketball scandal with the money and paying off players.
yeah,
The FBI started an investigation because something was wrong.
yeah,
You know when something's been done impropriety wise in the records keeping at the university.
oh yeah, they all know.
Rings have been changed. You're going to tell me that no one knew the ring was changed or he had an F and all of a sudden he had a B?
Yeah, that's funny.
So, for $12 million, Charlton, you can get past any scandal.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
North Carolina proved that.
yep,
Because with Mexico, and I think a big part that had to do with that was the legacy of Dean Smith, Charlton.
yeah,
What he's meant over the years to college basketball.
yep,
And, even Roy Williams been successful with Dean Smith, one of the godfathers of college basketball.
Yeah.
I think that the NCAA didn't want to ruin his legacy so much.
yeah,
So it's easy for people to take buyouts and payouts. We've seen so much money being tossed around in college basketball. So I think of that $12 million in legal fees.
yeah.
Maybe a couple $1 million went to say, hey, they did nothing wrong.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised. I saw the good old boys get down south. Big C, back in the day, there was a man by the name of Drew Bondini Brown. He was Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, with all you got to use, how can you lose? Rumble, young man, rumble. Big C, what are you looking forward to in the sports universe?
What I'm looking forward to is the start of the playoffs in the National and American League. Charlton, tonight,
Yeah.
we have the American League kicking off with Houston and the Yankees. That's going to be a tremendous series down there in the city of Houston.
Yeah.
We're going to give this city something really to be proud about, Charlton.
Yeah.
Having the local Astros representing them, hopefully in the World Series this year, Charlton.
Big C, that's a very good point. We hope that everybody stays safe, especially with all the wildfires going on in California. If you're told to evacuate, please get out so you can be safe and live to see another day. I do want to tell you, thanks for watching the Big C Sports Show, the #1 sports show in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C and the good old boys down south. We always tell you on every program, there's never ever an excuse for domestic violence. No woman should ever have to go through that garbage. If you see anybody going through that garbage, just call 911 because we have to keep our women safe. And as we take you on every Big C Sports program, we thank you, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have a super fantastic day.